Welcome, everyone. This is Lynn Schuessler-Williams here, hosting our training Zoom for Success Partners International on this Wednesday night. I'm so excited for you all to be here with us tonight. We got a great call, but we start every Success Partners call or Zoom with our signature message. And each and every person on this line can say, I am part of a growing team of entrepreneurs with a shared mission to protect and empower 2 million families and small businesses and Legal Shield's network of law firms and world-class identity theft services. What we do matters, and we are looking for help. And with that, I want to kick off our Zoom training tonight by saying we're going to hear a great program for simple follow-up and tracking. We've had a lot of conversations about that on our stretch call in the mornings. We've been talking about what we want to get better at, and lots of people said tracking and follow-up. And so you're going to hear from Mr. Timmer Halligan tonight, just a really back to basics, simple kind of system. And I love that because I think it makes it something we can all accomplish. And we have the resources for it. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to subscribe to anything. But before I go out to him to tell us how to do it, I want to just say a word about the power of decision. Because it doesn't matter what your system is if you don't decide to use it. So Bob Proctor, who's a favorite personal development author and mentor of mine, says, decision is a magical mental activity that can literally propel you down the road to success. But you have to put it into practice. So the word decide comes from the Latin root CIDE, like in germicide and insecticide and homicide and all the different sides that mean to kill or cut away. And when you decide for something, you are cutting away the possibility of others. So if you decide that you are going to do better at tracking and follow up in your business, then it is a firm decision and you get to move forward. It means I'm deciding for that. So the possibility of failure at it is just not there. It's gone. So it's so important for us to decide we're gonna get better at following up and tracking in our business before we even get into what the exact process of that is. So I encourage all of you to decide right now, no matter how good you are already at it, that you're gonna get really great at it. And these tools that Mr. Halligan's gonna present to us tonight are just going to be the icing on the cake because you've already decided. You're already being propelled down that road to success that you're going to use follow-up and tracking in your business at a high level. So with that, I want to go out to $150,000 ring earner, the man who's a coach and leader to us all, Mr. Timmer Halligan. Call's yours.
Well, thank you so much, Lynn. Truly appreciate you checking folks in and kicking us off. I mean, guys, I think we underestimate the power and the leadership that we have on this team. We underestimate the power and the leadership of all those that are within Legal Shield. There's so many great leaders. And number one, I'm speaking to a whole bunch of leaders right now. I mean, you are the CEO of your business here with Legal Shield. What you do with it is what you do with it. But here's what I know intuitively, that everyone wants to do well. Nobody jumps into something or says they're doing something without the intention of doing it well. And Lynn hit such a great point tonight, talking about the decision, making the decision to do the right things. Listen, I think every one of us will agree that following up is one of the most critical things. You know, there's a reason that you hear the terminology, you know, fortune is in the follow-up. We all know that to be true. I get people all the time that text me about the number of people that they've reached out to during the day. And that is the catalyst. That is the beginning for the opportunity to be able to follow up with people. Without a first contact, there's nobody to follow up with. They'd all be first contacts. But I think we forget sometimes about how we should follow up with folks. I think that, we think about before there was internet, before there was technology, before there was all these apps and these calendars and these devices that you could sync to your phones and do everything with. We used to be much more methodical in what it is we do. We didn't have anything. We had a pencil and, we had a piece of paper and we would write things down. And here's what I really, really, truly believe is that when we write things down, we remember things better. So we're going to talk tonight about a couple tools that you can use. I've seen so many people that are watching right now that have talked about this great app and this great app and this great app, and it's going to help me follow up. It's going to help me get better. But as Lynn talked about, none of those things come to fruition no matter what you've got, because it's not going to make the phone call for you. It's not going to send the text message for you. It may, even when I talk about Prospect by Legal Shield, that is a tool. That is not a follow-up. The follow-up is when you reach out directly to that person. I don't consider, and I could be considered wrong in this, emails are not a great follow-up tool. I got so many emails that I don't read. It's kind of like it's just become that hassle in life. But here's what I'm going to say. Most people email because they don't want to follow up. Let's just be real. You send an email and send the person off. I was having a conversation today with one of the salespeople, at one of my consulting companies that I'm working with. And she's like, well, I sent emails out. She's the membership person. She's the salesperson. I sent emails back and I'm just waiting for them to respond. Or I said to her, you know what, you need to call the people, late at night or later at night, like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Well, I don't want to call people late at night. They could be eating dinner or they could be just getting home. See, to me, those are all excuses and reasons to not do what you know that we are supposed to do. So let's talk a little bit about some great tools to be able to utilize to be able to follow up with folks. So let's go ahead and share this, share that. Let me move this. Let me go here. And let's talk about, listen, we know that if you go to our team's website, begintheascent.com, there's all kinds of resources here for you. And, you got your back office, you got all this jibber-moro stuff. Again, there's no need to even look into your back office unless you've made some sales. I mean, there's not a whole lot in your back office other than to check where you are on a monthly basis in Performance Club and check your commission statements. Go to our YouTube channel to catch all the trainings that we do. And again, trainings don't mean anything unless you actually do the things that are involved in the training. You've got your calendar, which tells you where your briefings are, but you should know that by now, where you're supposed to be each and every week. But we go over here to this things to know section. We go over to our documents section. We open it up and we say, okay, here's some important business documents. Now these business documents right here, you see where it says important business documents? It really should just say critical to your success if you want to succeed in Legal Shield business documents. And we're going to talk tonight about a couple things that are so darn simple that I think sometimes we forget how well they work. We came out with this sheet, a few years ago, your 10 daily connects to really simplify what it is that you're doing on a daily basis. Now, a 10 daily connects form is about giving you, this to me is your way out form, right? When I say your way out, because a connect can be a text message, it can be an email, it can be a phone call, it can be a private message. Just pick 10 people that you're going to reach out to. It doesn't even say, according to the guidelines, that, of this, that they got to even answer the phone or answer the message. But now what you got to do is have 10 new people every single day that you're going to be reaching out to. See, I take my 10 daily connects form and I'll put down tonight the 10 people that I want to just reach out to tomorrow. Because here's the other thing I realized. If I don't write them down, I'm going to be all over the place tomorrow. I'm going to be all over the place. I'm going to have great intentions. I'm going to think about what I should do. I'm definitely going to get off track because there's so much going on right now in this world. I mean, heck, every time you turn the TV on, it's got some horrific thing or some virus conversation or what school's canceling right now and, what basketball tournaments are not going to be able to have fans at them. And we got all this stuff that just comes at you every single day, on these devices. You cannot escape what's going on in the world. That's why I try to turn my notifications off so I can't get distracted and I can keep the main thing, which is make my 10 daily connects. So here's what I encourage you to do tonight and every night before you lay your head down to rest and you open up a book or you watch TV or whatever the last thing you're going to do for the night is, write down the 10 people that you're going to reach out to tomorrow. And you put them on this list, you put their phone number down and you write a couple notes like how'd you meet them, where'd you meet them, things along those lines. So when you come right here to our begintheascent.com, you go to these important documents, it says right here, 10 Daily Connect Guidelines. So it actually tells you exactly how to use it. Best part I love is the very end where it says, have fun. Okay, make your 10 connects a day. Then you come down, if you say, well, I'm not sure if I've got that document enough, you go right here and you hit this button and there's the form. Now, what I encourage you to do is print up a bunch of them. So you got a bunch of blank ones sitting in your binder that you got. And from there, you go ahead and 3-hole punch them. You put them into your binder. You write down who it is. So I write them on my 10 daily connects. And then what I'm going to do is after I write them on my 10 daily connects, they now go up into my tracking form, the Wealth Builders tracking form. Track your daily activity and number of exposures to your prospects on this amazing form created by $800,000 income earners, John and Darcy Hoffman. Listen, they know how to keep this business as simple as you can make it and, make $800,000 a year. You know why they make $800,000 a year? Because they have a lot of people that are filling out this form every single day. So when you open up this Wealth Builders tracking form, let's talk about it for just a second. So after I put them on my 10 daily connect sheet, I then take them, because once I've made a connection, they go on my Wealth Builders tracking form. I put in their name. I write down their phone number, just like I've got right here on my little notebook that I got, their names and such in it. And from there, what I do and what you do is you put their name in, their phone number, and you write down, as soon as you make the 10 daily connect, you click this little button right here, or actually you just type it in and you put first contact. You may say, I sent them a video from Prospect by Legal Show, so I checked that off. I put a note or two here, left them a message, did whatever the case may be. But what this does right here, and I think what this really, really simplifies for us is being able to look at the number of times we reach out to somebody. See, this gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 ways to potentially reach out to somebody. And if the sales statistics are correct, we know that when you reach out to somebody, it's anytime between 5 and 12 exposures are where the majority of all sales take place. But here's the problem. Most people make one connect, they click first contact, and then the rest of these boxes are not filled out. Now, you may say to yourself, well, the person I'm talking to isn't on social media. Knock that one off. And maybe you put here another 3-way call. Maybe you do 2 3-way calls with this one particular person. So I make contact with them. I set them up in Prospect by Legal Shield. I send them over a video. I would like to schedule with them a one-on-one. Okay, so I may schedule with them a one-on-one. From the one-on-one, what I'll do is go ahead and, maybe do a three-way call. And after they maybe see my website, then I may invite them to a Zoom. I then may bring them to a Legal Shield event. I may invite them to a luncheon. Maybe they went to a private business reception. I had them on a private conference call. I messaged them over on social media. And at the end of it, you've got these sheets that have got all the information. So when you look, now when you've got somebody on your team that are using these, you know how easy it is to be able to look at somebody on your team's business? This is why you want to do it. This is why you encourage others to do it. Number one, you encourage others to do it because their business will grow. Number two, it's an excellent, excellent coaching tool. See, if I'm working with Lynn Schuster-Williams and we agree that we're going to use these 10 daily tracking sheets or these Wealth Builder tracking sheets in conjunction with my 10 daily connects, when I take a look at this sheet right here with them, it's pretty simple. If I see the whole front page filled out and I see only one checkbox next to each of those persons, if I only see one checkbox, I'm going to say, wow, you're on the right track, but you haven't come close to getting to where you need to get to. And like I said, you can fill these in or put a couple different boxes in. Maybe it's got first contact, maybe you got, phone call, and then maybe you just cross out and say another phone call. And, but you never want to do 2 or 3 contacts alone. You always want to have a third party interspersed in there. But this will tell you exactly what's going on in your business. And this will tell you exactly what is going on in your team's business. Here is the challenge. And Lynn Schuster-Williams, really embarked upon this topic when she said, you got to make a decision. Second thing is you've got to be consistent. Daggone it, you got to be consistent. There is no other alternative to success other than being consistent. When you take a look at some of the greatest musical artists of all times, they were consistent in writing great songs, great lyrics, great guitar playing, great stuff, right? I see Ron Chambers on, so I'm going to say great drummers. But they're consistent. They're disciplined with the things that they do. There's a reason why there's a category in the world of music called one-hit wonders. Guess what? You're going to come across the person 15% of the time that will buy Legal Shield the second you talk to them. Go buy it. I did. You only had to say it to me one time. One time, I'm like, that makes sense to me. I need to get my will done. I'll do that. And I've probably written a few hundred of those over the thousands that I've written. A few hundred, like, yep, sign me up right now. Didn't even have to say anything. All I had to do is open it up and say will preparation free. And they're like, sign me up. Then you got another few hundred, right, that I followed up with one more time after that. Then you probably got a few more hundred that joined because I followed up with them 3 times. Then you got another 400 or 500 that I signed up because I followed up 4 times. Then you probably got another 300 or 400 that joined because I followed up with them 5 times. Then you probably got another 500 or 600 that joined after I followed them 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you see how the number goes up. See, if you consistently follow up with people, you're going to get results. And as long as you do it professionally, whenever I finish any conversation, I'm like, hey, are you ready to get started? They're like, no, I gotta wait, a couple weeks. I'm definitely getting better or closer towards that decision, but I'm not ready. If I say, hey, how about if I call you in 2 weeks, I'll just kind of check in on you. They're going to say yes every single, I've never said, nah, don't call me ever again. I really have not had that person say, nah, but if I just say it nonchalantly, if I go, do you mind if I follow up with you in 3 weeks on the 12th? at 4:55 p.m., they're going to be like, don't know about all that stuff. But if I say to them, you mind if I call back in a couple of weeks and follow up? Or, maybe they got, I got a lot of stuff going on at work, maybe next month. But great. I mean, hey, how about if I give you a jingle next month, we'll catch up? Sure, that'd be great. And then I write on my little tracking form note, call them 1 month from now. Because they're in my notebook here, right? My notebook sits on my desk every single day. My Prospect by Legal Shield's on the road with me. This stuff right here sits on my desk with me. And ideally, I'd love them all to work the same. If you told me you will take away my Prospect by Legal Shield, still they gave me the videos. I mean, there was no CRM to it. I had to keep the videos because they're important. And said, all you got, Timmer, is 2 pieces of paper and a copy machine, and that's how you have to run your business. I would do just fine. You would do just fine. So guys, I wish I could say there's some magic bullet, some amazing device that's going to do the sales for you. It's going to follow up with the people for you. But those are just tools. They're not really follow-up systems. They are things that will send out an email. They are good to maybe give you a reminder. But I also tell you this, when you use these forms right here, you feel a sense of accomplishment. I don't know why, but when you write things out, when you check things off, when you put in notes, they're there. I mean, you got to open up your phone and scroll through, and then, oh, there's a Facebook notification. And then you get distracted. Oh, wow, somebody liked my picture on Instagram. And you start to get distracted. I can just take this, turn it down, grab these sheets, prepare. That's what's so great about these sheets, is they help you to prepare to win the game. They don't win the game for you, but they prepare you to win the game. And that's what we want to do. Preparation is the most important tool in regard to success. When you prepare to win, you have the best chance to win. Does that mean every single person that I've got on my Wealth Builders tracking forms have joined? No. But every person that's joined is probably on my Wealth Builders tracking form. I can go back and take a look at how many times I was able to reach out to them. And as a coaching tool, it's incredible. So here's what I'm officially saying to all the folks that are on here tonight. We've got to get back to the basics. You've got to get back to the basics. I've got to get back to the basics, because the basics are something that we all can do. We don't have to figure out the technology. We don't have to, all you got to do is figure out how to do this. Sharpen a pencil. Just sharpen your pencil. If you sharpen your pencil, it writes on the piece of paper. If you write it on the piece of paper, you now have a tool. And when your uplines or your support teams or your workout partners say, hey, let's take a look at your 10 daily connects together. Believe it or not, at this club I'm doing some consulting for, she uses this sheet right here. I couldn't even get the success partners off of it. I just said, you're using this. And this is what you're going to use. And this is what we go through every single day when we're talking about where she's at in regard. She didn't even know where this form came from, but it's so simple that it allows her to be able to do it. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to create a Wealth Builders tracking form for her so she could take them from here, put them to here. This will be able to help me help her be able to see how many times she's actually followed up with that particular person. See, I learned something tonight given this training. So guys, I appreciate y'all listening in tonight. I encourage you, I implore you, I beg you, I request from you, whatever the case may be, to please utilize these forms. And Lynn, if you could turn off the recording, I'm going to open it up for a few questions.